Hello and welcome to Perfect Glamour Fashion. In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make this trending high-low boo crop top with hanging pockets and a collar. Okay, let's get into class. So this is the Ankara fabric I'm using for this style. I really think the fabric is beautiful. Okay, so get you an Ankara fabric or whatever fabric that is trendy that you can use for this style. The first thing I'm going to do is to fold the fabric, like fold it savage mouth to savage mouth. You understand that is the way it's vertical. You fold it into two. Okay, this is going to be for the length of the top. Now for folding it horizontally, which is the width of the top, you're going to mark your shoulder divided by two. Okay, plus your arm length, that's your shoulder to wherever you want the sleeve of the clothes to the top to stop. Do you understand? That is your shoulder divided by two, then plus your shoulder to where you want the sleeve to stop. That's what we are going to be using to fold it horizontally. I hope that makes sense. Now for the length of the top, what we're going to do is to mark whatever you want the length of the front to be. For me, I'm using my half length, which is 18, right? So 18 plus your sewing allowance. I'm using 2 inches sewing allowance, so everything will come out to be 20. So I folded 20 for the front. So what I have left in the length will now serve as my back. You see that it's already high. It already has the high-low effect, as you can see. So what I have at my back is okay for the back, but for the front, which is higher, which is like it's more cropped than the back, I used my half length plus sewing allowance. I hope that makes sense. If you want it to be higher, you can make it. If you want it to be higher or lower, you can then walk around it. Do you understand? Let me know if you understand in the comment section. Okay, so for the neckline, remember it's cut together, so we're cutting both the front and the back together. You're going to come in by 3 inches and come down by 1 inch. Okay, then for the sleeve opening, you're going to come down by 8, 9 or 10 inches depending on what you want actually. Okay, then from the top there, you're going to come down by your bust point. Then you're going to go in by your bust divided by 4 plus 4 inches or 5 inches, depending on how big you want it to be. Okay, then you're going to connect it all the way to where you marked your your sleeve opening, sorry. And then you're going to connect all the way down also, and then you're going to go in by 1 inch on the angle and form your curve. This way you formed the sleeve, and then you're going to cut out what you have. Remember to notch so that you remember where to place your neck when you're ready to cut it. You get that? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to now separate the front from the back, and we're going to be forming our high neck collar. Okay, or our kimono collar. I don't know what to call it in your area. Okay, but it's a high neck collar. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is to mark where the collar will be. Okay, for me, I'm using 3 inches. Now be very careful with the measurements we are going to be using here. Okay, so I'm using 3 inches all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting this out. We'll now replace it with the high neck collar. You get that now? So we'll just notch the points so that it will be easy for us to join the collar to the fabric, to the main cloth. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is to cut out the pockets. Okay, for the pocket length I used 11 inches because we're going to still use 2 inches to do the to turn it up, to turn it so to be neat. And then for the width, I think I used 8 inches or so because I didn't want it to be so big. So if you want yours to be, as big as the one in the thumbnail, then you should use at least 9 to 10 inches. Now, this is now the collar. Okay. Now for this collar, the width is going to be 7 inches because we used 3 inches. Remember, we cut into the front of the top by 3 inches. If you open it up, that's 6 inches. So for the collar, it's now going to be 7 inches so that you can use ½ inch for the sewing allowance on both sides. Please use 7 inches. If not, your top is going to be shorter in front and bigger at the back, and it doesn't usually all go well. Now, we are going to measure around the place you cut out from your top so that the length that your collar is going to be. Okay, so this is the length of my collar. This is the collar. I'm done. I have to open it to the front and iron it up. So when you are done ironing it down, what you're going to do is to put this over your head and see at what point it can enter your head, because this is where you wear it from. So I came down by about 14 inches or so. so that it can enter my head. My head is quite big. Okay, so put this over your head and make sure your head can enter before you sew all the way down. You get that? So this is me measuring out, I don't know if it was 10 or 14 or 15 inches, and then I'll sew the rest down. You get that now? Okay, so you, from the point that your head can enter, you now sew the rest down. So this is what it looks like when I'm done sewing it down. You see, it has already formed the color that we are looking for. You see that now? Okay, so if you have enjoyed this video to this point, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for always engaging in my video. And if this is your first time of seeing me, you're welcome. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you'll be reminded whenever we post a video. Okay, now watch this part carefully so you see how I'm attaching the collar. Now you're going to attach the center of the collar to the center of the neckline. You remember we notched it earlier, okay? And you're going to attach the front facing back. So the front of the collar is facing the wrong side of the top. Do you get that? And then you're going to, use your pin your notched parts and sew all the way around. I usually use pin to go round first before I go to the sewing machines, just so that nobody gets confused. You get that? So the way I'm pinning it down now, that's how you're going to sew. You're going to sew it to the wrong side of the top first before you now turn it over. We're going to see how I'm going to turn it over to the right side. You don't want to first of all sew to the right side and then turn it over to the wrong side. Do you get that? Okay, so if you have any question or confusion, just know that I'm in the comment section and I'm going to answer all your questions. If you have any questions, please ask, and I'm going to be answering in the comment section. Okay, now we are done. I've gone to the sewing machine. I've sewn it down. See what it looks like. This is what it's supposed to look like. And then I'm going to go ahead and notch. Please don't miss this step. Okay, notch what you have. Notch round, especially in that curved area of the back neck. This is so that your collar will relax very well when you are done sewing. Okay, it won't look very rough. Okay, all right, so when you're done doing this, the next thing you're going to be doing is to sew the front part. You just push the allowance inside towards the collar and then sew top stitch round the collar. As you see, the way I'm showing you with my fingers, just top stitch around the collar, and it's going to be very neat. You're going to stop stitch with 0.25 inch or 0.1, depending on how comfortable you are with the machine. So now we're done. This is what it looks like at this point. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold the sleeve by 1 inch. You fold half inch first, then another half inch. Okay, I'll cut out this excess that I have here, and then I'm going to fold the front also, the down part of the front. I'll fold half inch first, and then I'll fold another half inch. You get that? Now I'll do the same thing for the back part of the back of the dress, of the top, sorry. I'll fold half inch and then another half inch. And then for my pockets, we had cut this earlier. I will also fold, like I told you, I left 2 inches as sewing allowance. Okay, now that I'm done folding, it's now 8 inches for the length of the pocket, but you can use 9 inches, 10 inches, both for the width and for the length, depending on your preference. So I'm done preparing the pocket. I've sewn it round, so the pocket should like be a pocket before you even place it. You get? So you have sewing 2 pieces of pocket together to form a pocket. Did you get that? Okay, now I'm placing it. You see the way I'm placing it? Just freestyle, place it however you want. And this is what I have. I told you I wanted mine to be small, so I'm quite comfortable with the size of the pocket. So you go ahead and top stitch on the pocket. The way I'm using pin to hold it now, that's how you're going to top stitch on it. You're top stitching all the way down, but you're not top stitching the front to the back. You open it up, top stitch, and then you come back to close the side. Now while closing the side, you first of all close the side that has both the front and the back together, and then the part that is flying just for the back, you just fold it up and close it up. And we are done. Okay, this is what it looks like. Are you going to be trying this? Tell me in the comment section. So, I see you next time. Goodbye.